back, Juventini, to the Juventinità, Back to Black and White podcast. My name is Daniel Anigra, and I'm live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today we're going to be going over the post-match of a great game, Juve-Dynamo Kiev in Champions League, second last game of the group stage. And finally, guys, a performance that is ending on a real positive note. I really enjoyed this game, and I was able to see all of your happy kind of replies throughout the day. As always, during the midweek, I'm working, so unfortunately I can't watch those games live. I watch it after, and I write all my notes down. But it was definitely good to kind of chit-chat with you guys, obviously not being able to see it. But into this game, I kind of felt the positive notes. So I was really, looking forward to watch the game after work. And I was pretty happy with what I saw, and we'll get into it during this podcast. We bring a dear friend back on, and he's doing bits, he's doing things. And Mason, welcome to the show. Obviously at Vecchia Signora Blog, at VESI Blog on Twitter, and at Vecchia Signora Blog on Instagram. I didn't fuck it up this time. I actually got it. I'm proud of myself. I didn't forget it. So welcome,
Thank
Mason.
you for having me on. Yeah, no, thank you. That was perfect.
So what have you been up to? Kind of give us a little bit of a roundup of what's going on with the blog. And I know you're dropping some merch, and I'll definitely have a sweater coming, a hoodie coming in the mail. Obviously, unfortunately, we can't get it out, COVID. And it's tough to get these things going, but we'll definitely have you on in the future, and I'll definitely I'm going to be rocking it once it comes in on future podcasts. So
yeah, well, I got the merch, and I've just been trying to write a lot more. I'm out of school right now, so I have a lot more time, a lot of post game, a lot of pre-game. I have a really cool interview coming out probably later this week with one of the president of one of Juventus's youth academies that I was lucky enough to get in contact with. So I got a really cool interview in the books.
Nice, man. Nice. Definitely check that out, guys. And again, check out the hoodies. Beautiful design. Like I said, it's like a work of art. Everybody else has got their, signature kind of typical merchandise, but definitely one of a kind. So I think that's pretty sweet. And I look forward to rocking it. And again, you're doing bits. I have no problem, promoting your stuff. You do a lot of work for promoting my stuff as well. So it's been a really good friendship, and I look forward to having you on in the future. I know I'm saying this all in the beginning. Sounds like it's the end of a podcast, but no, for real, man. Great job, and continue all to grow together. There's kind of a small group of us that are kind of now all connecting, and it's really nice to see, because
we're all coming up together. It's nice.
Yeah, I know. And, there's no kind of bitchiness or jealousness. And I'm not going to get into that podcast. As soon as people hear that they know where I think I'm going, don't worry, we're not going there. We're going to be excited today. We're going to have fun today. But it's good. No one's kind of, and that's the way it should be. There's room for everybody here, whether you're doing podcasts, videos. I had, unfortunately, with Davide, we got that one late, always on my bad, screwing up and not putting it out on time. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Rock that video out, because he's doing bits. Obviously, he's going to have a podcast as well. And, this podcast is going to be shouting out lots of people, as we get the questions in. Thank you for the questions. It took a little bit of gas to get that going. But, guys, I really do appreciate it. I want to interact with you guys. That's what really, that's why I love bringing guests on. That's why, we have the podcast. But get those questions in, get those comments in, whether it's after the game. Just send me a DM, message, whatever it may be. And, it's fun. It's fun. And we'll get into those as well, because a lot of people have been gassing me up in the comments. So I got to give thanks, because, hearing how what people are thinking of Cafe alla Juventinità and my video. So it's been a lot of fun, and I thank you guys for all of that. But as we go through here, we'll check in on you guys, see if you're still here. And again, drop some comments on what you think, what you agree, disagree at the end or throughout the whole video. So let's get right into it. Let's get into the news. CR7, 750 goals and counting. What can I say? It's a remarkable, I can't give him shit for that. So it's a remarkable tally. And Ronaldo fans definitely know how to support their own. I mean, I'm going to say some Juve fans, they're very, take things a little too personal, a little snobby. But Ronaldo fans, I got to give you credit. You guys support your own. Someone posts a picture of Ronaldo, and I'm already up 200 hearts on that one, retweets up my ass, and it's just crazy. So, yeah, guys, drop some follows, eh? It's pretty easy to hit the like, but drop a couple follows. We'll keep it consistent. We'll keep it fair. Another thing that I really love seeing on social media, obviously Alessandro Del Piero with a bunch of other kind of legends, old veterans, some very familiar faces are going to be participating in the next coaching course. So hopefully this is the, as I called it, hashtag glory era is going to be coming up pretty soon. We're going to get Del Piero back in the club. That would be unreal, boys and girls, to see that. And let's keep it tuned and see what happens. Juve's moving up in the UEFA rankings after the last CL game, so we're now just behind Bayern at the top and Barcelona in third place. I think that's pretty cool. It just shows with all these wins what we can do. And hey, we've been pretty consistent. These rankings are based on the past 5 years cumulatively. So when you're near that top of the list, unfortunately, we haven't been able to win a trophy, but it shows the consistency out of the club. A little side note, international news, if you guys obviously haven't heard, I'm sure you have, but the Nations League finals are going to be in Italy. So we're going to be able to see some great games, including Italia-Spagna on October 6th, 2021. Maybe I'll be able to make it out there by then, October next year. Hopefully COVID is, maybe dying down, but that's going to take place in Milan. France and Belgium on October 7th in Torino. And then the finals of they have the third place game on the 10th in Torino and the championship October 10th in Milano. So maybe I get to see you guys out there. That would be sweet, but let's see what happens and enjoy some real football for now. I'm guessing this is what you guys are really going to want to know about. Obviously, Adriano Del Monte tweeted, Juve has to score 3 goals and beat Barcelona by 2+ at the Camp Nou in order to finish as group winners, which I think as everybody's seeing the kind of possibility of names that we could face being in second spot, I think we're going to be gunning for that first place, and we have to. I mean, it's shown in the past how much that second place can really hurt you or help you. I mean, it depends on the year, right? But definitely you get a little bit of an easier start by getting in that first spot. So hopefully we can get it done. Talking about some stats, obviously CR7 with 10 goals, 2 assists, massive for us right now. Morata, 9 goals, 4 assists. And the first player, I don't know if this is correct, came out through Max Daman, but first player since 01-02 to score 6 goals in the group stage for Juventus. So Morata's on fire. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So just hopefully we can all keep. Obviously, he's going to be a couple games off now, which I think he could use the rest. But and I think Dybala could really take advantage of that. But 13 goals, 25 UCL games for Juve. Big time. And I don't know, what did you think about the whole red card situation? Do you believe what was being said? I know you said the word embarrassing. I don't believe any of that shit. I think a lot of people were just like trying to make a defense for, I mean, hey, a lot of us say stupid things. I've said a lot of stupid things. I've said a lot of stupid things to refs. But, it was in the moment. I think it was justified. He didn't need to say shit at the end of the game. I think it was just a waste of breath, and now he's gonna have to deal with that. But what did you think, Mason?
Yeah, he definitely said something worse than whatever. I mean, I think whatever I saw was like, yeah, he called it an embarrassing penalty, but I mean, he definitely said something worse than that. I think, I imagine they'll appeal it, but I don't think it'd be the worst to have him sit out for 2 games. I think he could use the rest. But just a stupid thing to go up after the game. I mean, it was done and dusted. Like, it's one thing to want to have your piece, but at the same time, it's not worth it. Especially when Morata right now doesn't need to be dragged down to anything. He's playing amazing. Nobody, he doesn't need to prove anything on the pitch really, other than what he's doing with his playing. So, I think he's probably said something a lot worse though.
Yeah, it's just like I was laughing because everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, that's all he said." I'm like, "Come on, are you that naive to believe that's what he actually said? Like, are we getting the lip readers out here or something? I don't know. Is this circa like mid 2000s? What Zidane said or what Materazzi said?"
Yeah, I'm thinking about Akella in the locker room. Yeah.
But anyways, we move on from that. Obviously, Del Piero on Sky asked Kiev after the game, what quality would you like to have from your dad? I guess a lot of the '90s heads were kind of smiling at this point, but I'd like to have a similar shot. He had an incredible ability to shoot left and right, and what a game from Chiesa.
Yeah.
Said some other great things. I'm very happy. In training, I tried this on crosses. Obviously, he was mentioning to the to the goal. And we almost always try it. The coach wants us to score and create opportunities. Modern football requires men into the opposing area. Now, again, there was I don't know if there was a misconception or whatnot, but across, on the ground, kind of just outside of the box, I find is way different than, the typical Allegri put it, like, where everybody's waiting for it and it gets put out to the wing and then, okay, he's going to cross it. The percentages drop quite heavily of scoring because you're crowding the box and it's got to be perfect, which we saw with one of the goals. Obviously today it was a very good take and obviously a nice cross by Alexandro, but that's kind of what we have to do. Those off to the races and at pace, putting the ball over to someone in the middle that's free. That's what we need. And that's what I think is going to, obviously with work through the middle as well, whether it be build-ups, 1-2s. It just seems to work way better. And it's been not, and in this game, it really shows what's working and what's not. So I hope we really don't get back into something where we get into this, okay, let's just try and cross the ball game. Now, we'll talk about Dynamo Kiev and what they really brought kind of once we talk about the whole game as a whole, but it's not gonna, we that's just shown over multiple games now. We can't go in that direction, and when we do, I think we're going to struggle. So let's see what happens against Torino, but that's for a little bit later in the show. Let's get into this one. Demiral out for at least 10 days. He's possibly gonna miss the game against Torino and Barcelona. It's going to be difficult for him to get back against Genoa. Some people were saying yes, he could. We got to stop rushing this. Chiellini also hurt right before this, which we also got to get into that. So let's talk about Demiral. Obviously, it was during the game, but what to the moment when it happened. But what are you thinking about these typical? This one's a thigh injury. They're going to reassess in 10 days. So when you're hearing these 10 days, don't think that it's 10 days and he's healed.
Yeah.
He's obviously going to recover. He's going to get his treatment in 10 days. Then they'll check how he's doing. They'll see if he can reintegrate to the team, and we'll go from there. But what are your thoughts, obviously, on the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think first and foremost, don't rush him back on. I mean, we have the Ligt back. We have Bonucci. Yeah, I'm definitely worried that he might be an injury-prone player after last year and now this injury now. But I think that's a little preempted just because he's so young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important just to really take the time he needs because we can play with just 2 center backs right now if we need to. I prefer 3 at the back. But I think that, yeah, I mean, De Ligt can hold it down. And Bonucci, honestly, I think has been, past couple weeks, I don't think he's been as bad as he was earlier this season. So I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable about him. And with De Ligt back, I mean, we have that extra coverage. So I'm feeling more confident about the defense. And Demiral is my preferred second starting center back, but we also have Danilo, and he's in pretty good form right now, surprisingly. I really didn't like him last year, but this year he's really growing on me. I think he's really coming into his own at Juve.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I was not really in favor of him coming in, and I really hated that deal at the beginning. Now it's kind of working its way on me. But yeah, no, it's really getting annoying. Demiral, this is, I think, the second time that he's now has a nagging injury within a month at least, I think. So there's that. I know we got these situations, international football and COVID times, and a quick turnaround from last season. But the Chiellini one really pisses me off because not necessarily because of the injury, just the way of the reporting. And I thought Romeo Agresti, to be honest, was very. I thought it was inappropriate. I think a guy that was on the mend, that wasn't fully recovered, I would say, and then now all of a sudden seems to be pushing it a little bit further to get in the lineup, and then he's injured again. I don't know. I don't think you can call that another injury. I think he was already injured and it reneged. So I don't know. I still think Chiellini is tops. I don't think you can get that experience from anywhere else. And again, the way if you want to play with this three at the back kind of formation, obviously, thankfully we have Danilo and Alexandro's back and doing really well. I was kind of scared for him as well when he was getting pushed to go right away. That was another worry I had. But let's hope this isn't a big thing that's going to start dropping players, because it seems like we're kind of moving everyone back in, besides Dybala being on form. I think you could say there's a lot of players kind of moving back into place and getting time. Maybe not their best, but they're putting in minutes. You know, you look at the likes of Bernardeschi and we'll talk about Kulusevski at the end if we can. There's been a lot of discussion with him that I think is unwarranted, but it was nice to see the kid, Radu Dragusin. So it looks like we're going to be renewing his contract. Sorry. But we'll see what happens. If it takes as long as Dybala's, who knows? It might be a year and a half. If not, it'll be by the end of 2020. So who knows?
Yeah, Dragusin's a beast, man. I can't wait to see him get some more game time. He's like 6'4" or something. He's terrifying.
Yeah, he's a beast. And it's good to get the experience. I was shocked, but I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, you could say, with Demiral obviously going off, he gets the time to come in. But yeah, that was really nice to see. It's a really a nice change from the past, and yeah, that's awesome. Monblano on Juventus. Bernardeschi is open to leaving Juventus. That's the only thing that I would agree that I am happy to hear coming out of Monblano's mouth. And yeah, that's just it. That's the news, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you thought of what we had to say. Not a huge kind of media, you know, not a lot of news, but a decent amount. So let me know what you guys have to think, your thoughts, what you agree with, what you disagree with. And drop a like, drop a subscribe. It really helps me out, motivates me, and keeps growing this big family that we have. So keep it up, and let's get into the match. Obviously, the formation wasn't necessarily too different from what we've seen. I think they reported it in a weird way. At least Gazzetta did at the beginning. 3-4-1-2, coming into a 4-4-2 in defensive formation. Obviously in possession 3-4-1-2. So obviously Tech in goal, Demiral, Bonucci, Delict, Alexandro, McKennie, Bentancur, Chiesa. Ramsey was kind of like that left mid / attacking mid. Depending on where we were. Ronaldo and Morata up top. Kiev was in a 4-3-3, or if you're the Score app, which told me it was a 4-1-4-1. I don't know which one to take. I'm not a Dynamo Kiev fan, so as far as I know, they had Bushkan in goal, Mikalenko, Popov, Zabarny, and Kedzioza as your defensive line. Shaparenko, Sidorchuk, and Shepelev as your mid, and Rodriguez, Verbic, and Tsigankov, who was supposed to be, or who was their most prolific threat, knowing that he's been scoring at least in Champions League, or their biggest goal scorer in Champions League for Dynamo Kiev. Any kind of thoughts on the formation? Were you surprised? Kind of, status quo. I didn't see Dybala coming in this, obviously, now that Morata got the red card, but what are your thoughts, Mason?
I was really happy to see McKennie start, first and foremost. And I was excited to see Chiesa out on the right. I thought he did really wonderfully. Well, we'll get into that later. But it's just on the formation, yeah, I thought it was great to see Chiesa on the right. I thought it could, potentially open up more crossing and cutting in, and that's exactly what happened. And it was cool to see Bentancur. I mean, I know he's been kind of suffering a dip in form recently, but it was nice to see him get some minutes. And it was great to have Alexandra back too.
Yeah, don't hold back on the Chiesa comment. But yeah, no, I agree. I think Bentancur had a really, really great game today. McKennie, I thought it was good, but I don't know. I thought a lot of people were praising, and when I rewatched the game, I think he had a good game, but I wouldn't say he had a great game. He was getting involved. He was in the 1-2s. He was kind of sitting back as well, helping out defensively as well. but I don't think it was. It's tough to say. We had a great game as a whole. So to pick like, okay, who was better than who, I think it was a good game out of him. But I thought he was getting a lot of praise on Twitter. So that's why I wanted to distinguish between kind of how I thought and what kind of the general opinion was. Again, Alexandra, I agree. What a game. I thought he had a fantastic game. I'm probably maybe gassing him up way too much, hyping him up way too much. But I thought he had a fucking good game, and he proved all the haters wrong. And I would have died on that horse or on that hill, and he's paying me back in spades. So that's why I'm getting his jersey whenever whatever the hell I get money out of this freaking pandemic. But yeah, no, definitely, what a game. And we'll get into some stats. A little bit different. It seemed that in the Benevento game, we had a lot more possession than what it seemed like we had in this game, 53-47, which was strange to me. I know towards the end they were picking it up and holding the ball, so they got more time, as well as certain situations throughout this game. But I thought we were definitely going to be upwards of 60. Was pleasantly surprised. 17 shots on goal for us, or shots in total, 7 for Dynamo Kiev. I always mess that up. 7 on goal for us and 3 for Dynamo Kiev. Passes came down. Usually we're up in the 700s, but we only had 609. I'm assuming that's because we had obviously a little bit less of possession than we usually do. So it just would make sense. That's the number. 542 for Dynamo Kiev. 88% for both us and Kiev in pass success rate. So again, two teams that were definitely up there in passing. But I just thought Kiev, just as a preliminary statement, Dynamo Kiev just didn't seem like they had any bite at all. And not to take away from our game, but I think as we get into these minute by minute play, I was surprised. And I think that's a lot of the time when there is a team that Juve comes, not to take, like, again, I'm not trying to take away from this win. Don't read into that. But I'm just saying, not to be a negative Nancy, but they were very calm to sit back, I would say, in the first half. And it did change in the second half. But, yeah, it really surprised me. Were you kind of confused about that as well, Mason?
Yeah, they were playing like they were up at certain points. Like they were kind of just hanging back. I thought Mikolenko, I think his name is, had a great game though.
Yeah.
I thought I was really impressed by him and his efforts just on the flank. Yeah, it was really, I mean, they played like they didn't have anything to gain from it, which I guess at the time they were already out of the next stage, right?
Yeah, so So again, they're out of obviously going to the next round of Champions League, but I mean, still to go into Europe. I thought, like, when I was in my when I did my morning video or after work video, Cafe alla Juventinità, I said that they still had something to play for in Europa League. So I thought for sure they would have given something, because these teams that are still pushing. I mean, Ukrainian teams. I can't remember the team that beat Napoli, Dnipro, I think it was, to go to the final. Ukrainian teams. That's what you're going for, Europa League. Like, if you're out of Champions, you still want to go for some trophies. But yeah, no, very, very strange. And yeah, I agree with you, Mikolenko. Him and Chiesa were kind of battling there, kind of on the right side. So it was good to see. Bentancur obviously was a regista, 4-4-2 in defense, like I said, 3-5-2 in possession, or 3-4-1-2, depending on what the movement was and who was kind of moving around up top. Right in the second minute, we get a first shot off by Ronaldo wide, but it was good to see that we were coming forward and pushing, holding possession. It did feel kind of slow about 5 minutes in. Like, even us, we had the ball, but it wasn't, fast tempo or anything. We were kind of making moves and moving the ball around. Alexandro making runs. I thought it couldn't be done from all these people that were hating and saying that we got to get rid of him. I don't know what you guys want. Like, we talked about it before or in the podcast previously that you guys will hear. We talked about, how difficult it is to get fullbacks and how costly they are. And that's another reason why I couldn't see us getting rid of this guy. He was too defensively sharp. And even today, he just showed what he can do on the offensive end. And that's kind of what I wanted to see out of Cuadrado, but that's obviously what we're not getting on the right-hand side. And Chiesa, although he was sharp offensively, like I said, Kiev not being too pressuring, or they weren't pressuring us, they weren't pressing that hard. It didn't seem like he had that much of a field day to go, obviously having to come back very difficultly and facing much of a challenge. So it was nice to see. But again, once we face a team that'll do that to us, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? Especially with Chiesa being on that right-hand side. So we'll see. I mean, hey, good game so far, but definitely some learning points. And Al, I hope, is biting his words. He threw out a tweet. Yeah, well, under 23. Come on, that's a total. That's a cool little dumb comment. I'm not afraid to say that. Trash comment, and he knows he's wrong. And I've eaten crow lots of times. It's time for Al to start eating crow on that one. But unreal tackle from Bentancur. A little kind of scared the crap out of me, because if you would have went through on that one, which did happen in the 10th minute, mind you. But we saw some great link-up play. Ramsey, McKennie, Ramsey, and Chiesa shot just wide, and we saw a lot of that in this game. But then again, like I said, Bentancur, risky tackle. Early yellow, 10th minute. I'm like, dude, relax. We're 10 minutes into this freaking game.
I was a little disappointed by his performance. I didn't think he played bad, but I felt like he was like kind of struggling to get involved. And I think that he has a much higher ceiling than Rabiot. So I really want to see him in the starting 11, but I think that he just hasn't got enough game time. But I think that once he gets back, he'll be a threat, because he was definitely our best midfielder last year.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought we had a lot of great crossing. Chiesa had a nice cross in with a McKennie header on goal, kind of bounced off the post. So that was pretty nice to see. Chiesa had a nice cut in and shot, got us a corner. And then Morata with the flick on off of that corner was bobbled by the keeper, and Ronaldo just couldn't get enough to put that in. And I'm not criticizing, relax. I just want to put that out there, because there's going to be a couple other moments you guys are going to be happy with what I'm going to say, but it is what it is. I'm fair, okay? I'm fair. McKennie mistake and gives us a corner in the 19th minute, so that's why, like I said, there was a couple things to improve on, but generally it was good. But in the 21st minute, Morata with a nice run, ball over the top, and laid it off to Alexandro. Alexandro cuts in. Alexandro gets the ball, crosses it in, and Chiesa with a beautiful header bounce off the turf into the corner there. So great first goal for Juve. And it was funny, because after this goal, and I'll take your thoughts on the goal, but after this goal, we actually pushed for once. It seems like, I don't know, Juve, it's like every good opportunity or a goal, and the other team is pressing the other way. Now, I don't know if it's just different types of teams, and maybe, like I said, Kiev was sitting back 2 lackadaisical, but yeah, we actually pushed that third goal, which was really nice to see. But what were your thoughts on the Chiesa first goal?
Yeah, I think that was a beautiful first goal. And I thought that, I mean, I didn't expect it to come from a header from him, honestly. Yeah. I mean, he's not a particularly tall guy. I think he's only like 5'9" or something, but he got up there, and and it was really well worked by Alexandro. He had some great runs. And I don't think of him as particularly attacking player usually, but he was great. But yeah, and after the goal, I was really happy to see, because that's sort of the story as old as time for the past couple seasons. Just we get a goal, and we just kind of stop playing, basically. And it's getting really hard to watch. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But anyways, 30th minute, Demiral with a nice crossfield ball to Sandro, and he cuts in, and he leaves the ball to Ronaldo, and he puts it right off the bar. And I was like, oh, you got to, that's when you got to score, guys. Ronaldo fans, you cannot get mad at me for this one. You got to score that goal. It didn't matter in the end, but fuck what, man, just perfect opportunity. And it was almost like he put it right in the corner there. the way it bounced off. So anyways, we move on. 35th, there was a Dynamo Kiev penalty shout between, obviously, I can't remember which Dynamo Kiev player, but it was obviously Bonucci for us. I don't know. I didn't think there was enough there. I know Bonucci gets on top of him, but, they were kind of both grabbing. He had his arms behind him. They both had their arms on each other, and he kind of just fell back. So, I give it to the ref for actually, erring on the side of caution and giving the benefit of the doubt for the defender, because, sometimes that doesn't happen. So I thought it was a good call, non-call. There's a lot worse that could have been called on that kind of stuff. And like I said, he was leaning back. Both arms were draped. So not a big deal. 38th minute. This is kind of where they started coming on, Dynamo Kiev. So about 40 minutes in, Juve sitting back and taking some pressure. I don't know if they got tired or whatnot, but I definitely saw them, taking a foot off the gas. 39th minute, again, Ronaldo, he had a really selfish run there, that he could have crossed it in and basically ends on the touchline, and we get nothing out of that. Especially, this was pretty critical at the end of the first half, because we're only up 1-0. We're sitting back, which reminded me, I'm like, oh, everyone was happy about the game, but I'm like, this doesn't feel good. It's like, it feels like a previous game. And that half comes in the 41st minute with a colossal error from De Ligt. And he misses the header completely. I don't know if he just jumped, he didn't time it correctly. Bonucci's soft coverage as well. And just the Dynamo Kiev chests it down perfectly to his own guy, wide open. And thank God for Tech in a couple moments in this game, but especially in this one, because that's the 1-1 right there. That's the match opener.
That was a really well-worked play by them, and Tech totally bailed us out. I mean, he's you don't often notice him between the sticks, just because he's but yeah, that was a moment where I was like, wow, he's really good,
Yeah, exactly. And again, you don't see too many mistakes at him. I know I mentioned one before in another video, but again, you got to if you're going to go jump for that incoming ball, you got to clear that out, because then if it does land or if it bounces the wrong way, then we're with our hands tied behind our back. So unfortunately, that doesn't happen. We get to halftime, 1-0, and we start balling again in the second half. Alexandro, I said balling on both ends. I wrote in my notes, literally making runs, making a great stop. Dem it out with an unconventional giveaway of a corner. There was a couple little blips that happened during this game, which were weird to see from some of the midfielders, attackers, you name it. But again, 47, nice pressure from Ronaldo and Co to win the ball back. He wins the ball back. Nothing really comes out of it, but it was good to kind of see that everyone is understanding the pressing mentality. And again, we got a turnover because of that. 51st, after waking up from sitting back. Nice build-up play from Chiesa. And unfortunately, Bentancur's shot gets blocked. Again, 53rd, Tech with a save off of the cross. Multiple players were open on that, and all they had to do was really hit the ball. So again, another kind of saving our ass up again at just 1-0. So, but again, it seemed like what the theme was, we would like the kind of what the Patriots mantra was at the years past, bend but don't break. We were bending quite a bit at a couple moments, but again, the 2-0 goal was around the corner. We seen, great run by Morata over to Ronaldo, and a great shot saved. I believe it was just outside of the box. And 56th, actually what I was wrong in saying is not necessarily the whole team was woke up at the halftime, but at that 56th minute, we definitely did. There was a couple good things coming from, like I said, Alexandro. But besides that, we were kind of asleep until that 56th minute. And then we started building. Then the engine turned on and things were going. 57th minute, nice build-up play. Over to Chiesa, across into Morata, off the keeper. So again, from the right-hand side, he's running down with speed. And it was just a perfect low cross that was until you saw the replay, you were kind of like, what the hell happened? So basically, he crosses it hits the keeper, hits Morata, and then bounces out perfectly for Ronaldo to clean it up. And you can't say that he doesn't score tap-ins. He scores goals. I mean, again, good. You got to finish them, right? So 2-0 Juve, and it's nice to see. And then it's kind of a changing of the guard. Obviously, Bonucci comes off to get some rest in the 62nd. I kind of knew once we were up 2-0, and knowing the fact that Dybala was probably going to have to start against Torino in the derby, as well as probably the next game against Genoa, and Morata will probably take Champions League duty unless, something out of the ordinary happens. I think that's why Dybala didn't come on at this moment, because I thought maybe you give him a little bit of a run out to get his legs going for the weekend, but that's just the way the subs happened. And Ramsey, I thought I didn't think he knew his place. He did mix it up in a couple of the instances in the first and part of the second half, but I thought he was kind of unknown a little bit in the midfield. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like he seems to, like, I wrote about this before, but sometimes it feels like he thinks that he should be scoring goals.
Yeah.
And he's definitely capable of that, but he's not the preferred option really. And when him and Dybala play together, I feel like he's kind of in Dybala's quarter. But I feel like he's just been hot and cold, and I feel like against Kiev he was just kind of he's just too inconsistent right now for me.
Yeah, and it's weird to see, and it's weird you said that too, because when Morata's on and Ronaldo's on, you don't see those mids. They do make runs, but you don't see them as much occupying that space, which seems really weird to me. And Pirlo said that it's tactically, he's telling Dybala where to go. So I don't know. It's just a really weird situation. I don't know why Dybala kind of strays away from there, but that's a different issue, and we won't get too much into that now, maybe in the questions. But anyway, 63rd, Bentancur gives a ball out of reach, but Demiral extends to get it, and that's where his injury essentially comes from. Kind of a little bit of an overextension, and he grabs his thigh. You can see him, and you're kind of like, shit. And then obviously a little bit later he gets subbed off, right? But 65th, great build sequence, McKennie run. Lucky ball deflects right to Chiesa. He keeps running, pushes it to Morata, and he kind of fakes it he fakes the defender, cuts to the right, and just slots it home. Perfect goal. And again, beautiful build up. Your thoughts on the 3-0 kind of to seal it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, it was just something that I think personally I needed. I think a lot of fans, judging by Twitter, we needed something good. I mean, it's been really hard the past couple of weeks. The Benevento, I was personally really upset by that. So yeah, I mean, we should have won 3-0. So it was like, it was just comfortable, which it hasn't been in a while.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And then and anyone saying, now that we know the score, anyone bugging me about my 2-0, prediction, don't play clean sheets. Well, the joke's on you, because we can hold a fucking clean sheet. Barring Tech saved our ass a few times, but yeah, clean sheet, boys. Albert, that's directly directed at you. But anyways, I'll be seeing him on the weekend, obviously with La Panchina and the derby. So guys, check it out. That's gonna be awesome. Once they get that video out of our live reactions and the derby, what can you say? It means a lot. It really does. 69th minute, Dragusin, obviously what a beast, comes on, gets some minutes. I really love to see this. And again, maybe fortunate enough that Demiral, or obviously unfortunately, but Demiral gets injured, so we have to bring someone on, and who are we going to bring on is this young stud. So great to see. 71st minute, obviously with a nice cross in, Bernardeschi just heads it over, and it was nice to see him come on and put some minutes, put some work in. 73rd, nice build up. Ronaldo ends up with the ball, holds on too long. Again, kind of a similar situation. I don't know. He gets a little bit too excited some moments. I noticed, and he wants to try and do a little bit too much, where he's doing some step overs, and and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I don't have anyone to pass to now, and either we turn it over or it goes out to touch or whatever. So a little bit of improvement can be done on that. But again, we're up 3-0, so who gives a shit? 75th minute, Kulusevski on for Chiesa and Artur on for Bentancur. Like I said, now it's kind of like wholesale changes because we're up 3-0 and might as well get some players who are probably going to start on the weekend some minutes. And I thought there was a little bit too harsh of a criticism of Kulusevski. What are your thoughts about him obviously coming on? But I don't know. I think these 15-minute little jaunts that they get to perform on. I think when he's come on as a starter, he's been really well, barring some games where maybe he's on the left side or change of position. But I think a lot of people are really ragging on the kid for no reason when he's put in some really solid efforts. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely was. He was sluggish, but I think that when he starts, I think he takes 15-20 minutes to really get going. He's not a super sub. He's not Douglas Costa. I think he's got a very intelligent tactical brain, and I think that slotting him in at the end, it's just like what can he do? I mean, I think he needs to be around for about a half hour before he really gets to be able to work some magic.
Yeah, I agree. 76th minute, ball cross field to Sandro. Again, we had some great kind of crossing in the whole game, whether it's cross field or a couple into Morata with a run. Nice ball saved and a really great chance. It was really nice to see that right now, to be honest, when we usually don't get it. 79th minute, still attacking, which was nice to see, because I was surprised we didn't sit back that early, and we had a variety of buildups and chances. I'm not going to go through all of them. Not one thing to note. Obviously, Bernardeschi slotted into the left. Kulusevski was on the right. Artur played the kind of the regista and was sitting back. And I think there's a big question that we'll answer, thoughts about Pjanic, but we'll leave that for a little bit later. Obviously, Dragusin left CB, Danilo onto the right, and De Ligt in the middle. But again, Dynamo Kiev did pick it up at the end, and they were taking their chances then. Kind of nothing to lose at that point, and we were happy to sit back. And Tech made some pretty big saves in those moments as well. So that pretty much wraps up the game. But I think overall, really good to see. Again, lots of improvement, like every other game. I think a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, you think there's still?" No. I think every as a human, business person, team, whatever, there's always going to be improvements that you can continually make to make yourself better. I think you should never settle with yourself. There's always something that you could have done better or changed, and I think same with this team. But it was really good to see. Like I said, it was really good to see after Benevento. And let's try and rack a few of these up, consistent performances, one after the other, and not, okay, here's one, and then, okay, we'll do another one a couple of games later. Let's continue on with this and keep pushing this. But your final thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it really well. It's consistency is the key. That's how we should be playing. I mean, we should be beating Dynamo Kiev 3-0. And so, I think we're entering into this period where I know it's like it's really harsh to be, or it's hard to be critical of Pirlo because of the situation he was put in. But I mean, we have two really important games coming up. We can't drop any more points in the league. So that was the final game of like, okay, like, half pressure, like now it's getting real. And so I think that was a great way to end that period of time. And if we can play like that consistently, then I mean, we're going to be good. But I mean, it was just really refreshing, and it was fun to watch. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think even in these next couple of weeks, even if we do win, I mean, look, December's huge, right?
Mhm.
It's not going to lay up. The rest of the season's not going to stop. We're not going to get breaks. We just got to keep moving. And then Kopitai is going to kick in, and all these things, right? So definitely we got to just keep putting good performances, and we'll get there. We'll just not look at the standings, but I mean, it's definitely within reach. There's no qualms about that. Let's get 3 up, 3 down. If you had to say your 3 kind of, the worst of the bunch of this good game, who kind of would you go? Who would you look to?
Worst of the bunch.
I
Guess
can go my 3 if you want first, and then maybe give you a little bit more time before I just throw it on you there.
no, I can go now.
You
I
got
think
it?
if I
Okay.
need to. Yeah. Yeah. So I think 3 worst would be Bentancur, not because he was bad, but just because he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he just didn't stand out to me. Then I think out of the subs, I think Ramsey. I think he was okay. I mean, I really
Yeah.
I hope for more for him. And then I want to say, trying to think of the back. Nobody was really disappointing.
Well, that's the thing, right? That third one was kind of tough for me. I almost went McKenny
Yeah.
because I didn't see, I saw some, but there was a couple mistakes. And then again, it's really hard to discern between, when you've had a really good performance, who's your 3 worst. So again,
Mhm.
don't take this like, oh, he thinks they were shit. No, I think they were just on the lower end. I would agree with Bentancur as well. But my third was kind of the defense as a whole. Some kind of key mistakes. The one with the defense, the one with the chance they almost had that Tech bailed us out. That could have really cost us. Demiral had a couple things here and there. Bonucci again a little soft on the coverage. So again, just to pick something, that's kind of that was my thought process on that. And if you don't have a third one, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I would say Delict just because of that one error, but aside from that, I think he was the best defender on the pitch. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, definitely,
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely, definitely. 3 up for me. I'm gonna go Chiesa. I'm gonna go Alexandro. Obviously, that's no surprise, and I think Tech deserves an award. You can give it to Ronaldo. You can give it to Morata for scoring the goals, but I'm gonna go with Tech. They're huge, huge save that really kept us from being in the lead and not giving any motivation or any satisfaction to the other team after they had really played a really poor half. So yeah, especially at the waning moments of the first half. So those are my 3, boss. How about yours?
Yeah, definitely Chiesa. Yeah, Tech. I think Tech really stood out to me, and then yeah, I mean, I agree, Sandro. I mean, he was great. I would put Murata in, but I think Sandro deserves it just because coming back on this form is really great.
Yeah, no, like I said, I really hope we can keep this up. And keep the injuries down, and yeah, like it'd be sweet. Let's get into the post-match comments. Obviously, with Pirlo, he said some pretty, crucial things, but pretty standard, I think, as always. You can't always have the ball. You sometimes have to suffer. You play in the UCL against strong teams. I'm satisfied with the boys' game. We don't have to just set, which was nice to hear. This next line is nice to hear. We don't have to settle for just playing, even though we were already qualified. Tonight we needed to play like a team, and I really agree with that, especially after that garbage performance. It was nice to see a comeback, and all of us kind of get band together and put a game together. Against the next game against Barcelona, he says he feels ready for the match. Concentration is at its maximum. First, there's the derby to win, and we concentrate on that first, though. But yeah, again, I think it's doable. We got to just go leave it out there on the road, and we'll see what happens. And then for Morata, we wanted Morata back at all costs. His mentality changed. I agree. I think he's been now proven to be such a vital piece. And yeah, let's see. Who knows? Maybe he'll be going for the golden boot
Yeah.
at the end of the way his form is now. But
If you
crazy.
told me that 3 months ago, I would have like blocked you on Twitter.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Obviously Bonucci with a couple words. Good game. The goal was to win and now go to Barcelona to have a great game. We needed it for confidence and self-esteem. even for the many young players. In Barcelona, it won't be easy, but let's go there to have a great game and get experience. We must improve. There's a path of growth. The minimum objectives passed around, and we have done so. We know we have to. Holy shit. He says the same thing. Such a typical sports player. There's an evolution taking place in the way we play, and it takes time, but we're on the right track. What else? All the big teams are struggling a bit. That's no excuse. We have to work and achieve our goals. Again, typical player talk. But he did say something about Ronaldo. It seems like after every game we're celebrating a new Ronaldo record, which, yeah, it's true. He's up there, and hopefully we can break a lot more and break some Juve records and stuff like that as well. Get that Champions League trophy, that's for sure. Morata, obviously another victory is an important win. In the end, we missed a few details that led us to draw games or concede goals. We just need to pay more attention and things will come good. Young players, nobody's born ready to face all the challenges that arise. It's normal. There are many new players. You have to adapt, and there's no time to do it here. Unfortunately, I can't play in the Serie A. I apologize to the referee for what he understood. It was never my intention. It may be that I didn't understand the meaning of the word embarrassing. I meant the penalty. Oh, it's just, I'm sorry. I can't help myself but laugh because it's just like the kid that gets caught. But I mean, it is what it is. I think the team is talented enough to handle what's ahead. So unfortunately, we are going to miss them in these games, but we definitely have the squad that should be able to take care of Torino and Genoa. Your thoughts on kind of the post-game presser from our boys and the coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear them all. It definitely, yeah, I mean, it's total player talk. It's so like vague, but I think that I detect hints that they actually believe what they're saying, that they really do believe there's a mission. And yeah, I mean, sorry, it was so awful with the press, so it's nice to hear Pirlo come out and say what's on his mind. It might be a little fluff, but yeah, it's good. I'm glad to hear they're all like feeling like they're working towards something, because we need that grinta,
Yeah, for sure. And we're getting towards my favorite part of this show, barring obviously having you on the podcast, Mason. It's been a pleasure. But guys, if you made it here, which I hope you did, I hope you're watching these videos first of all, but I hope you made it here. Please drop a comment, let us know, drop a like, drop a subscribe. And yeah, let us know what you're thinking so far. You agree? Ronaldo fans, get at me. I'm sure you will. For something I said, I mean, whatever. Let's get into what's going to happen next. Obviously, with the Derby della Mole, with Juve and Torino. Obviously, Dybala's going to be back in the lineup out of necessity. I really hope we can see his true colors again. Now, kind of everybody's gelling, and it seems like a positive vibe after this game. I think Torino is going to be pushing. I think they're maybe not in the place that they want to be. And again, it's a derby, so anything can happen. Cards, bad tackles, some moments, some penalties. Who knows? It's going to be a lit game. Fortunately, the fans aren't going to be there. That's the really unfortunate part, as always. But yeah, what are your thoughts coming up? Big game. And like I said, stay tuned for us, guys. We're gonna be posting some reactions there with La Panchina. So definitely gonna be a lot of fun with, I believe, James, Albert, and Al are all gonna be on there. So I'll definitely vent my frustration. I'll definitely keep sticking the Alexandro argument out there. Me and Albert, I'm sure we'll go back and forth about Milan because he picked Milan to be first, which they didn't show you in that first La Panchina that I was on. Great moment. I'm not very happy about that. I gotta voice my opinion. Albert was laid out there to dry, and we all had a good laugh, but it didn't make it. So I gotta voice my opinion. But anyways, Mason, go ahead. Let us know what you thought of
it's sad that the derby won't have an audience. I'll have to listen to you guys just to get the scrappiness.
Well, it's not going to be live, unfortunately. I wish that would be awesome, but it'll definitely be, I think, posted the next day. So unfortunately, we won't be live. But anyways, put on some. I'm sure the Clown Man probably has a great halftime show from what I've heard. So
I'm honestly impressed that he's able to do that. It's
Hey,
it's a lot of work.
like I said, ladies and gentlemen, once the live stream, once I figure out this, it's game over with Cafe alla Juventinità, Juventinità Back to Black and White podcast and live streams. We're going to the moon, as Dave Portnoy said, to the moon. So stay tuned. But anyways, go ahead, boss. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think the Derby della Mole is yeah, I mean, last year Dybala played really well, so I'm hoping this year he comes back for that.
Yeah,
I think last year was the Palace kits, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, I think you're correct.
Yeah,
you're correct.
And yeah, I mean, I think it's the perfect vibe to go into it. I mean, I fully expect that we'll beat Torino, but you know, I mean, they're definitely going to give a good shot at it. I think that Dybala hopefully will slot in better because of the positive energy. It's not like we're requiring him as much, you know, with Ronaldo back, and yeah, hopefully Chiesa will get some minutes. I'm really excited. I mean, it's just, if we had lost against Kiev, I would have felt a lot worse. But I think this is just going to be a fun game. And yeah, Barca's going to be tougher, so I'm just going to try and look forward to the weekend. And yeah, the derby's always a great game. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, take it one step at a time. There's going to be a lot of emotion. I think we're gonna get that Barca fan back on again, Rami.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it again for one final time, potentially. I mean, I guess if we meet them in Champions League in the future, that's a possibility. But that'd be crazy. But yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Now, this is my favorite part. Why I say it's my favorite part. It's because all of you guys contributed, like I asked. Thank you guys. I mean, it took one tweet. It took a retweet plus, you know, Mason helping me out. He reposted stuff like that. And then it took a video today during my lunch break. So, yeah, I mean, third time's a charm. It works. But, guys, thank you so much. I mean, it makes it so much easier. We get to talk. You guys have a lot of great questions. You guys think of things that maybe I forget or we don't touch on. So it's good to hear. You guys are great fans, great friends, former guests even, and let's get right into it. The first one from James Martino, the Stallion, my buddy. We'll see you on Saturday. Yeah. But he said saw both the 3-5-2 and the 4-4-2 look fantastic without Dybala. With him starting versus Torino, which does Pirlo go with? So I'll let you answer first.
I think, yeah, it's tough with Dybala. I think 3-5-2. I think I want to see that. I want to see I want to see him free to move forward more. I want to see more coverage in the midfield, so he can get out of there. I think and I think we play better. I think the tracking back when we're out of possession works surprisingly well. So I just think it's more dynamic. It's more exciting. What about you?
Yeah, I honestly don't see us changing from that, to be honest. Like, there's another question that I'll answer talking about obviously formations, but I think we're not going to see a difference. Either it be a 3-4-1-2, which is essentially a 3-5-2. The 4-4-2, defensively, it does essentially everyone shifts into place, right? Like in this game, you had Alexandro shifted into the left back when needed, and Ramsey would go into the left mid spot whenever we were pushed back. So thanks for the question, James, but I honestly don't see us changing that much, to be honest. And that's at Jimmy_Stallion, by the way. I definitely want to give you guys your shout out and so everyone can find your great takes. Obviously at Joe_Cappuccino, obviously part of the Red Card Report. And great podcast, guys. Definitely check it out. But he asked opinions on Ramsey, not just from the game, but overall. Well, one thing I'll say to start, glass knees. I think everybody knows that. So again, you got to worry about his fitness and if he's going to be able to stay. But it just doesn't seem like he's been able to jive. Maybe because he hasn't been fit and now kind of coming in. I don't know. I'm not really 100% sold on him being the trequartista. As we've seen in the past. I don't know. I just don't think it's the right role for him. I think he'd be better suited in kind of where McKennie and either, kind of Chiesa kind of running into those lanes. I think when he has to be that kind of link between the two, I don't know if it works. You saw some good moments today, but I thought some moments where he did kind of get lost in the formation and maybe was out of position or out of place. But that's kind of my thoughts. What about you, Mason?
Yeah, I just think he's far too inconsistent. I mean, when he's on, he's pretty good. But yeah, I don't really see where he, as far as like attacking midfielders, he is like, in the center, he's the best option right now. I think that we probably should have not jumped and bought him last season and waited for somebody more suited to our style. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate him. I don't roll my eyes anytime he comes on. He does produce some really exciting stuff. But yeah, it's just far too inconsistent for me to really feel comfortable when he gets the ball.
Yeah, and hopefully he stays in form. Like I said,
Mhm.
hopefully it's not too many times where he's got to go out and then come back and reintegrate and stuff like that. So great question, Joe. I appreciate it. Ayer the Regista. I mean, thanks, man, for gassing me up on I think it was YouTube. But yeah, I mean, thanks, man. I appreciate the love, the support. Yeah, hopefully we can get bigger. I mean, I'd wish I could wave my wand and say, yeah, 1,000 subs and this and that, but it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. But yeah, as long as we keep growing together, building together, we'll get there eventually. I mean, put in the work, and like I say, you put in the work and you'll get the rewards. So thank you for your question. Obviously, is Dybala just in a rough patch for form, or is it the beginning of the end? What do you think? I'll let you answer this one, Mason.
Yeah, I feel like we ask ourselves that question at least once a season with Dybala. I think my honest opinion is I think he's just I think he is a player that gets out of form really easily, and I think that he's like a second half of the season player. And there's like a legitimate argument that makes him finish the Juve, but I don't really agree with that. Yeah, I think he's just in bad form. I mean, it's been what, 9 games, a month and a half. It happens. I think that yeah, I mean, you can't. The way he was playing at the end of the season, I know he wasn't putting up like impressive numbers. I mean, he was 10-10. But yeah, I mean, in a matter of 3 months, you don't lose that. He's just out of form. I mean, he's not toast. I don't doubt that if it went somewhere else, he might be performing better. But I think that it's been the third year of transition, or the second year in a row of transitions, the third year of a different style. Yeah, I mean, I think he's just struggling to adapt. I think he'll be fine. I hope that if he doesn't come back to form in December, I'm going to start to be a little bit more worried though about him leaving. But
I would agree with that. I'd also have to say, in terms of contract wise, I don't think we've solved that yet, and that's what worries me more. Not just because of his form, it's just because we haven't solved this contract over a year and a half. So if we haven't gotten it done when he was playing well, and now he's not doing great, he's not on form, whether that's fatigue, injury, not being comfortable. I think he's a victim of how we're playing. I just don't think the 3-5-2, the way it's kind of deployed and kind of what Ronaldo needs, is suited to his kind of game. Again, it just shows so much when you get Morata on the field and just the link up. And I don't know. I'm really hoping for a turnaround. But to say, hey, if a deal came up, would Juve, exercise that right? I would not be shocked at all. I still think there's I would say 40% chance that he goes, just because of the way our financials look like, and he's going to be the guy that probably fetches the most amount of money. Whether that be at the end of the season or something in January, who knows? Like you said, it depends on how his form continues. But not to talk like kind of in a negative way. I mean, I think the way, we've set up around him for over a couple times, and the way the fan base has been, I don't know if we really deserve that kind of player. And whether that's true or not, that's my opinion. You guys can think what you guys want, but to me, you can't go 3 times where a coach is getting you. And like I said, Pirlo's admitted, he said we've talked about tactics, so I can't say he's deciding on his own to go back into the midfield. That's something that's talked about. So Pirlo's got to do better to integrate. And again, the same criticism that Allegri got, Pirlo's going to have to get that same criticism. You got your 2 best players, obviously before Morata's form, really just talking about talent-wise. You got to get those players to play together, and even including Morata. So that needs to be worked on.
I mean, like, realistically with Dybala, I don't think his value is probably it's probably dipping right now. Or going to start dipping. But I mean, there's no club in Europe that's going to be able to pay a lot of money for a player like Dybala right now with COVID. And
I don't know. I just think it's tough.
We might get a swap deal, but I just think it would be a mistake to let him go in January. I think we need to see if Ronaldo's going to stay, because if Ronaldo's out in at the end of the season,
there's lots of variables, man.
I think people are a little quick to jump the gun with Dybala.
I would be I agree. I would be shocked if it did happen in January, but I think if something fell on their lap that was enticing enough, I don't think they would not go for it. Not saying that's what's going to happen. I think at the end of the year, there's about a 40% chance of him going, 60% him staying, because there's potential for Ronaldo re-upping and signing a 2-year extension, and potentially a swap with Madrid, or Icardi's been rumored.
I just don't know what kind of class of player would who would you see?
I mean, I'm not saying I would want it to happen. I think you'd have to ask for a lot, to be honest. I don't know if Madrid would be willing. I think you'd have to throw Isco in there for sure. I think you'd have to throw a young player in there for sure. And then again, it depends on the figures, right? It's tough, right, to see who they would give up, because obviously they're not going to want. They're going to say, "Well, this guy's not performing." It's a tough argument, right? But let's get into the next. Thanks, Ayer. Appreciate it. Z, obviously, always supporting, always showing love. So thank you, Z. At @LaNostra_PD10. Why are Juventus defenders, I would say players as well, always plagued with injuries? Honestly, I could not give you an answer for this. I just think, one standard, we rush players back way too much. Why our system is not, J Medical historically has been the residence for Khedira, the residence for Douglas Costa, and you name it. So again, it's just, I think you got to be very cautious, and we've been in situations where we didn't need to put certain players back in, like Chiellini against Ferencváros, but we did, instead of trusting young players or guys that could fill in. So I don't know. To me, my only answer would be rushing players back.
Yeah, I think we might need a Ouija board to answer that. I mean, it's just, we've had the worst luck. But yeah, I think also I don't know. Sometimes I forget how many games the defenders actually end up playing. Like, we rotate them far less, or at least did last year. And yeah, there's a pretty big game load this year. So yeah, I guess maybe it's just we do have plenty of center backs. I think we just got really unlucky with all the coinciding injuries.
Fair point. At Dybala Mask, I think 15, who's going to be on the podcast in a couple weeks, I think, or in next week. But he says, do you think Pjanic would have done better under Pirlo in terms of creativity than Artur, or what's your thoughts on that one, Mason?
That's a really good question.
It is.
Yeah, man. I think any midfielder in that role would do better under Pirlo. So I think I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to make of Arthur yet. So I don't really feel 100% confident answering that. I know what Pjanic was capable of was pretty
Yeah.
amazing. And I think that under Pirlo, he would have only gotten better. But I mean, yeah, he was awful last season though. So
Yeah.
I don't know if Pirlo could have pulled it back together for
The
Juventus.
thing is, with Arturo being such a young player, I don't. I honestly think it was more of just Pjanic just aging, and I think his legs kind of were gone. I think in Barcelona he's kind of. I don't know if he's doing that much running. I don't really watch. I'll ask Rami when he comes on, but um, yeah, I'm not sure if his legs were there, so I don't know if it would have made a difference. I think Artur he's good at keeping the ball, shielding the ball, making the proper decisions which way to go. And even I noticed in this game when he came on, even though he's giving it back to the defender, he's moving to the right place. He's passing side to side, but he's also moving forward. And he's also distributes north south. So I can't complain. I think it's been a really good pickup. Again, lot to improve and more performances to see, but definitely, I think I personally would say I don't think it would matter that we have Pirlo. BW_circled, which is obviously Nilesh. Bring back Mario, and I'm assuming he's saying Mario Mandzukic. I would if it was like the minimum I don't know if there's a minimum contract in football, but like at a really like reduced rate as like your third guy or fourth guy that you could just have. Because why not? I mean, we give Khedira 6 million, so fuck it. Why not? Sprinkle
we
a
could give
little extra
Mario
money.
like 100,000 or something.
Yeah,
just
like
to hang
1
out,
year
yeah.
contract, something or whatever, half a season left contract, and say fuck it, why not? Eh? Uncle Drew, is it time for Chiellini to hang up the boots? Your thoughts, but
Yeah, I mean, I think I wrote a piece about this a couple weeks ago that unfortunately I think that I don't think he should be playing very often. If I guess that's where I'm coming from. I think it's time for him to really consider retirement. I don't think he needs to leave right now. I think that he can stay on as just a presence. I really think we need him around as either a manager or as a player. But physically, yeah, I think he's. It's just he can't destroy himself for one more year. You know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be worth it. And he's already said that he's got his MBA in business administration, so he already wants to work with Juve. Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough, but I think that yeah, I just don't want him to just be fucked up forever, you know, in his knees.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff.
keep re-injuring,
Yeah.
keep re-injuring. Yeah, I think I still think it's a little early to be talking that because you look at the game against Ferencváros was solid, was a rock. So I think there's still a lot to give, again, at a reduced number of games. And I think that's where the problem lies. Game management, whatever you want to call it. What did they call it with Kawhi there? Anyways, whatever the hell they call it. But basically your game management or load management, that's what they called it. So basically how many games he's playing, that needs to be mapped out. He should only be playing key games. And I still think you can get a lot out of him because he does put in performances. And his contract is not like, holy shit, he's making like 15 million. I think he's only like just over 3 now, I want to say.
Yeah.
If not greater than like 5 or 6. So it's not like a huge load for something that I really think he does. I even argued like that in the Italian national team, if he's 100% fit by the tournament, I don't think I'm picking anyone else over him starting in that first game. I don't think there's anyone better, to be honest.
I do completely agree that when he's not like suffering form at all. Like when he's on, he's awesome, which is great to see. It'd be much sadder if he like was having these injuries and then also playing really poorly. But that's just
I agree.
Yeah, he's still my first choice too.
So we'll see. We'll see how the season goes and kind of how it progresses if he picks up any other injuries. Nilesh, my boy, at Nilesh_NO8, or as some people, and well, a majority of people like to call him, Papa Pirlo. My guy, who's the clown at Juve? So I don't know. I was kind of thinking about, like, what is he trying to say? What is he trying to insinuate? Because I did ask him after that. If you look at that thread, I said, "You talking about Juve Twitter? Or you talking about the club?" And he says, "Well, now that you brought it up, why not you answer that for both?" So I'll just let you ask about the club because I don't want you to get into Twitter wars. But who's the clown at Juve? I don't know. Maybe bad for performance, or is he thinking about who's the jokester? I don't know. I was confused a little bit about this question.
Yeah, I think jokester would be definitely Quadrado. I don't know if you saw that video of him like absolutely bodying Murata. Yeah, it was really funny. Uh, yeah, clown, like funny clown Quadrado. Clown isn't like clown emoji, definitely Kira.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have to agree with that analysis, that expert analysis. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But Juve clown, well, there's only one clown, Bobo the clown. Come on, that's a simple answer. Like, literally played yourself out in front of the whole internet. So enjoy. Obviously from Anto, or as you may know him, at Johnny Numbers, at Johnny and Numbers. He says, "Is Chiesa the best right wing in the world?" And now so it's different. This is now a Ronaldo podcast only, by the way. Just if I didn't tell you guys. And he's now on the Chiesa fan club. He's running that there. So I don't know. I think he did really well. I thought, again, I agree with Pirlo. I think it was his best game. Nice to see him score his first goal. And yeah, I hope to see a lot more great performances. It's good to see because, this early with Bernardeschi, we didn't really get to see that. We didn't get to see that, right? We saw some good performances, but really for the most part, a lot was lacking. So it's good that this early he's integrating and he's playing pretty well, and that's all you can ask for. Mason.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him the best right wing in the world, but I think that he, yeah, I think he's incredibly promising. Honestly, I've been really happy with what I've seen from him, and I think that, yeah, I think he has the potential to be really incredible. I think he has the potential to be one of the best wingers in Italy, and yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, who knows?
And then obviously on Instagram, he has another channel. If you don't know, great edits as well coming out. High quality. That's crazy how these guys do it. I don't know. You guys are anyone who edits, photos, videos, animations, unbelievable work. So obviously I'll give some props, give some love at Black Dybala, BLVCK Dybala is his handle on Instagram. And Anto, congratulations on that. It's really nice to see you, joining with some content besides shit stirring, blocking, fighting, cursing, and anything else that he's doing. But he asked the question, is Morata the best striker in Europe right now?
We had like one good game and everyone's like, all right, we're back, boys. Which is exactly like what I say to myself at home when Morata scores. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's on unbelievable form, unbelievable goal tally. If he keeps it up, yeah, I mean, he's definitely the I would say one of the, barring like Haaland, probably one of the top inform strikers with Ronaldo, Haaland and some other names out there. But yeah, unbelievable work. And yeah, I don't know. I guess there were some people complaining. I don't know. Do the majorities always make this big of a deal about the minorities? I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't remember seeing that many people. But I mean, I only have that big of a little bit of a following, so maybe I wasn't hearing all of the whispers. But I didn't hear that much. But even with Chiesa, I mean, there was backlash, but nothing huge. But anyways, Mason, you go ahead. But
yeah, I think Morata's putting up crazy numbers. So I as much as I like initially laughed, I do think, yeah, I mean, he's got a shout for the best striker in Italy right now, definitely. If he kept this form going for the full season, I mean, that would be career topping run. I mean, we're talking like 35 goals. That's what he's on track for, hopefully. But yeah, I never would have thought that Morata and best striker in Europe would be combined. But yeah, he's on fire.
And anyways, to wrap, I know you sent me this. We won't get into it too deep. I just want your brief thoughts, very brief. I won't mention anything. Obviously,
Okay.
you sent me ESPN FC 100. You know what I think a lot of people know what my opinion is on ESPN FC. Literally, they take essentially all of the worst part of the UK and they've brought it now to the US, barring like Gab Marcotti and stuff like that.
Yeah, like Gav's great. I like Matteo Benetti too. He's cool.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I guess I've forgotten that he's joined ESPN. I haven't, barring them getting Serie A rights, I haven't watched ESPN FC in like ages. But check out Golazzo and stuff like that. That's great. But what did you think of the top 100? Obviously, they had Messi at 1, Mbappe at 2, and Ronaldo at 3, and Dybala at 8. Which I was surprised I didn't see Dybala in the top players, obviously winning the MVP. And I know I'll probably get shit for saying that now, but I thought he definitely would have made the short list, especially from his contribution last year. But anyways, just to finish off here, your thoughts on
Yeah, I thought it
ESPN
was
FC.
crazy. Crazy that 2 Juve players made the list. I think I was really disappointed that I mean, I'm not any Ronaldo fanboy, and I don't like to get into the Ronaldo Messi stuff, but I definitely think Ronaldo deserved the top spot. But yeah, I thought it was just bizarre that we had 2 Juventus players there. I'm surprised that they singled out Dybala.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have thought that they would have really
Those
had that
guys,
shown.
man, if they can shit on Serie A, and I'm surprised even Ilicic is on that top 10, to be quite
Yeah, that was
honest.
a good shout though for Ilicic. He was great last year.
Because usually they're just talking out of their ass like 9 times out of 10 and literally thinking like, oh yeah, like we just come up with random performances, and like over the past 4 or 5 years have just come up with some real stinkers of like thoughts. But that's it, guys. Really appreciate your questions. I hope we can keep this up and get more for the future. And we're gonna have a great guest in Dean Masato tomorrow. Another, I don't know if is he in Boston? I know he's a
I don't
Boston
know.
Bruins fan, so that's okay. So I'm not sure if he's from, but anyways, we got another Bruins fan, so I'm happy. First time he's gonna be on the show, so that'll be great. And we'll just preview the Derby della Mole. So Mason, it's been a pleasure. Keep up the great work at Vecchia Signora Blog. Guys, follow
Thanks,
him.
man.
Obviously, at Vecchia Signora Blog on Instagram, at VESI Blog on Twitter. And I'm sure you'll hear him around, and I'm sure you'll see him on my, my fleets and my. I gotta do more shit now, and actually got me kind of into Reddit too.
Yeah.
Check out Reddit, guys, and if you are from Reddit, welcome to the show. Welcome to everything, to all the platforms, and yeah, it's definitely another space that I'm gonna have to interact with, which is awesome. But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's always fun.
Yeah, and thanks for the merch again. We'll have that on, and we'll definitely be rocking it for sure, guys. Get those hoodies, fill those orders, and yeah, it's support, right? Like definitely going to be picking up some Turn Giants stuff. Definitely going to be picking up a couple shirts from Al as well, just to show the love. I know it's tough times with COVID and everybody's working hard, like I said, with all these podcasts and videos and stuff like that and blogs. So we got to show the love when you can. Again, do what you can. I know it's tough times, right? But again, it's been a pleasure. We're definitely gonna have you on more. That's for sure. And
Yeah. No, I love coming on.
it's a lot of fun, man. So, guys, stay tuned to the next episode. We're finally going to be getting back into rhythm. I finally kind of reeled everything in. So just stay tuned. Bear with me. You guys have been great. And no one's been shit talking me for being behind. But thank you for just, even just listening and reaching out and showing the love. So as always, guys, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao, ciao.